Hello, Void. Getting caught up on all the more recent films, and well, I suppose if it's this time of year, I'm gonna have to talk about this one. So, the movie right now the internet loves to hate Rob Zombie's The Munsters. And really, internet? This is what you're all up ons about? I didn't think it was that bad. I mean, yeah, there's a few things that are a little off about it, but really? You guys haven't seen a lot of bad movies then. I mean, I willingly, repeatedly watch things a lot worse than this on purpose. So, really? This isn't anything that bad. Not by a long shot. So, I mean, do we need a prequel for the Munsters? No. But this was a fine one. I mean, the movie's not great by any means, and it has its problems. Now, a lot of the main complaints comes from how the color looks on it, and it kind of gives it kind of a cheap, oversaturated look. But that was intentional. Now, I've heard two different ways. I've heard, and one person said I've seen on the internet that Rob Zombie originally wanted to do the movie in black and white, but the studio wouldn't let him, so he then went far opposite and just oversaturated the color to make it look like a colorized his TV thing from then, just to kind of dick with the studios. But on the other hand, I also heard it said that he was, after seeing everyone just hanging around in their makeup, it felt like something out of a cartoon, so he just kicked the color up a little bit to make it a live action cartoon if he could. Either way, it does sound like something Rob Zombie would do, so I'm not sure. But I do know it was intentional, and yeah, it's a little weird at first, but 10 minutes in, and you don't even really notice it anymore. It's just the way the colors are. Yeah, it's campy. The Munsters is supposed to be campy. I'm not gonna. The jokes, yeah, they're bad. But a lot of them are supposed to be bad, particularly Herman's groaners. It's not. The fact that they're not funny is what's supposed to be kind of funny about it. I also heard a lot of people complaining about him not having the Herman Munster voice down. Of course not. He's a different actor. He doesn't have to use the exact same voice. That that's what we're complaining about. Yeah, he does have the Herman Munster laugh down pretty well, but why should he have to do an exact impression of another actor? Internet. I mean, I will say Rob Zombie must have built the scenery out of gingerbread with how much of the actors are chewing it. But for me, that's part of the fun. Richard Brake steals every scene he's in. It is either of his characters. There's a lot of actors playing multiple roles in this, and Richard Brake is a standout as Dr. Wolfgang, the scientist who built Herman. He is just over the top and hilarious. He also plays Count Orlok in a dating scene that was so cringe-inducing it was hilarious. I really was really digging the nerdy rat obsessed Orlok. Particularly later when you see a newspaper just in the background, someone's reading that Orlok was killed by his own rats. So there's a lot that is working for me on this movie. Yeah, it's dumb, but the Munsters always was kind of dumb, and that was part of the charm. For me, this one kind of made me want to go and rewatch some of the old Munsters. I haven't seen that one since I was a kid. I didn't even watch it all that much. I mean, I did a bit. Whenever it was on, I wouldn't turn it off. But personally, I thought this was fine. I'd actually like to see him do another one to see what he does with the kids. I mean, this it's unnecessary, but again, it's a decent tribute. You can see there's a lot of love in this film for the Munsters. Rob Zombie is obviously a fan, and he's putting his heart into this thing. Another complaint I hear a lot is Sherry Moon Zombie's acting, which I didn't actually have a problem with in this one. Usually she plays very similar characters. It has a very distinct voice. This one, she was doing an entirely different shtick than normal. I mean, usually she's like with her role as Baby, that laugh carries over into a lot of other her roles, like her role in 31, or and to a lesser extent her role in The Lords of Salem. But here, she was doing something different. It wasn't working all the time, but she was at least trying. Yeah. And I will say, I can't remember the name of the actor, and I don't have my phone next to me to look it up, but the person playing Grandpa Munster was doing a fair job. I mean, he's no Al Lewis, but no one is. But he was a reasonable facsimile. Yeah, he gave him a larger mustache, but I think that was kind of being a nod to the Dracula book, where Dracula's always described as having a. If you read the description of what Dracula looks like in the book, it's nothing like any of the interpretations that come out. Well, the plot, it's just them falling in love at first sight, and then the plot's very sitcom-y and light, but it was a light sitcom. So, where their problems just get resolved really easily, but it's mostly just seeing them just having to react to and deal with things. A lot of the charm of the show is them having to deal with fitting to normal life, and you only get that towards the end, but this one does give an interesting showing of what they're used to back home, which we didn't really see in the show. Now, I remember Uncle Gilman did show up in the show, and he has a small appearance here. I don't remember Uncle Lester, but it wouldn't have surprised me. Like I said, I didn't religiously watch the show by any means. And I didn't really do any research because, again, it's Rob Zombie's Munsters. You can only take it so seriously. But more worked for me than didn't. Yeah, the first couple minutes were a little groan-inducing. But as it goes on, you do see some interesting stuff. I was entertained. It's not a movie I'm going to kick up often, but heck, I wouldn't mind adding it to my collection. Overall, I liked it. I will say that. I'm not going to rate it very highly. I'm only going to give it 5 MacGuffins because, yeah, it is cheesy. And a lot of the complaints are fair. Like, the acting is at a high degree, and it's usually cheesy and over the top. But I believe a lot of that is what they're just going for. So, yeah, it's going all in. And not just because not all of it's working doesn't mean it's... You can't... I personally admire the gusto that it goes into all this with. I was saying the plot is very minimal. It's then Herman gets created. Lily is having dating problems. They they pretty much have love at first sight, and then have to deal with a few other problems of getting their castle scammed away, and now they have to find a new place to live. I will say, like, the Madame Zoya, which I'm pretty sure is lifted right out of the Wolfman, being pretty much a load knee breaker I thought was hilarious. So having her just do it on this scheme to just get revenge, I was entertained by her. The movie's fine. I see a lot of people say that they can't get through it or just can't do it. Come on, grow up, guys. It's a movie. It's not even that bad of a movie. The internet just likes to hate on things just to hate on them, especially if it's anything nostalgic that doesn't fit their views. Sure, it's not the same Munsters, but it's trying to be a send-up without being an exact copy, because nothing can be a copy. It's was such an iconic thing at the time. But it's doing its best. Everyone loves to just hate on something because it's easy to hate on. I liked it. And I'm not afraid to say I liked it. So, take that as you will. Should be getting another movie watched late night tonight, so another one should be dropping tomorrow morning. Not sure what the heck I'm going to see yet, but away we will go. Probably post something up on Tubi. Alrighty. Well, now I'm on vacation, so coming up this week, I'm going to be watching a lot more movies. And one day, I'm going to be, probably Tuesday, trying to watch 24 hours of movies. I'm still debating whether I want to drop my reviews in between each film or just keep reviewing and do it all after I take a nap at the end. But I'm going to see if I can do it. My friend has advised me that I will start losing my mind around hour 18 as she has attempted this. But I at least have you guys to talk to. Well, talk to you later, Boyd.